Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hold on one second. Welcome to ESL Tech Innovations. This is our conference for NMDEL, First Virtual Conference 2017. This session is, as I said, entitled ESL Technology Innovations. You're going to be looking at some phone apps and other mobile-friendly learning programs. Presenters are Montserrat Oyanadel and Don Dutton. And while we wait for the top of the hour, we just got about another minute, I'm going to give those of you that are logged on a chance to go to the tiny URL on this screen. It's www.tinyurl.com/DELTVC 2017 so that you can register for this account, and that way we'll have your emails and be able to give you follow-up information if requested. So really excited to get started today and have you guys learn a lot from our wonderful presenters who are in quite the good moods today. So we'll just give it a couple more seconds and then we'll come back to you. Thank you. Okay, again, if you're just joining us, want to make sure that you went to the tiny URL and registered for the session, ESL Tech Innovations. And we're about to get started, so
hello, can you, sorry, okay, good. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing great. Thank you for being here with us. My name is Montserrat, and as you know, I'm part of the New Mexico Delt. I'm here with my co-presenter.
Don Dutton is here, and yes, I'm in a good mood because I get to talk about ESL, my first love in adult education. I'm thrilled to be doing this with Montse, and I think we have a lot of interesting things for you today.
Yeah, so before we start, I want to be really grateful for teachers like you guys, because as you know, I'm an ESL long-term student. So thanks to teachers like you, I'm here talking and presenting and learning and giving back to this awesome community. So I hope you learn a lot, and feel free to ask any questions on our chat. So let's start. So we have quite a agenda for today. We have 5 topics that we're gonna talk about. But before we start talking about it, I have one task for you. While we are going through this presentation, we want to ask you if you please could have any of these topics that you would like to learn in depth in another moment. You let us know so we can know what to do with you, with your program, and work more close and about any of the resources that you need to learn with more depth. So feel free to put any comment on the chat or email us or contact the Dell team, because we will be happy to help you. So for today, we're gonna set expectations. We have 3 learning targets. So the first one is about, we're gonna expose you to free ESL online resources. All the resources that we're gonna present and show you and demonstrate today are completely free. Also, we have experience using them. So please, again, feel free to ask any of the questions. Then the second one is, we want to help you to guide your classroom and your students to use technology in their phones, accessible for everybody, and again, free. And the last one that is really important is that we're going to show you some free citizenship, civic, and government online resources. So we're going to start with free ESL programs. I know that for a lot of you, USL Learns is a popular program. It's been out there since 2008. But actually, what I like about this program is that besides all the benefits that your students are going to get by practicing basic English skills, such as speaking, reading, writing, pronunciation, and grammar, they also are going to be able to experience an online classroom. In this case, the teacher has a great opportunity to create an online classroom into the program. So when the teachers do that, is going to be able to monitor student progress, get reports, track date, and track time completion of activities. So I thought that was a nice feature for a totally free program. And also I wanted to say that this program is for beginners and intermediate students. So I'm going to show you quickly here the website, because I think it's a really well made, user friendly. You can access and see on the left all the features that teachers can use, and then on the right all what the students can learn. But also, if you have any questions, USL Learns created this instruction tab where you can find how to create a class step by step, really well explained with pictures and instructions. So it's so well done, and I recommend you guys to go and navigate around and check it out. I know maybe some of you know this program, like I said, but a lot of you maybe don't know that they have this awesome feature that the teacher can have an online classroom. So I want to show you these 3 pictures that I have on the right. So the first one is about how a student will see the platform. So in order to student to enroll in a class, he's gonna have to create an account using the email, and then it's gonna, if you click to the right, you're gonna have to enroll in the teacher class. Teacher needs to create a classroom and get a key. With this key, they will enroll into the classroom. The last picture I want to show you is about the student gradebook. So you can see the curriculum and then the time of completion, how long did it take to finish this task, and the score. So this is a really good tool too, because you can go back and review every topic with the student and give more support if the student needs it.
For many of you, this program that's on the screen right now, ACT CareerReady 101, might remember this as KeyTrain. KeyTrain was a program that's been around for a long time. Well, it's been updated, if you haven't noticed, in the last couple of years. It is a couple of different things, but one of them is ACT CareerReady 101, which is the one that we want to use for both HSE and ESL students. But primarily, I want to talk about ESL students today, and an experience that I had for 2 years using this program with ESL students. Mm-hmm. In an open lab. We actually had HSE students and ESL students come. This program is not excellent for beginning level ESL students, but for intermediate or advanced students, those students were able to come in and study the 3 programs: reading for information, locating information, and applied math. If they wanted to study math, it was mostly the first 2. But many of the students that I had wanted to study the math because they wanted to take the WorkKeys exam. You've heard of the WorkKeys exam, maybe. People who pass it get the National Career Readiness Certificate, which is a piece of paper that documents specific skills that a student has. It comes in four different sizes, so to speak: bronze, gold, silver, gold, and platinum. Depending upon the level of what you finish, how you finish. Reading has 7 levels, locating information has 6, and applied math has 7 levels. So on our NMDELT website, I can show you that in a minute, I think. And if you go to our website, nmdelt.org, you will see over here on the right a way to account for yourself, a teacher account, from which you can make student accounts, or the free training, the Delta NMDelt trainings tab at the top. If you move down, you can see CareerReady 101 as to go and get step-by-step videos for operating this program. And there they are, just some information about how to get there. What I recommend that you do is use this program as a supplement or as a for a hybrid class, and it's just great. And that's about all I have to say. This next screen is from the program. By looking at this, being able to read is essential in everyday life. Everywhere you go, there are written words. In order to function in the world, you need to be able to read. So clearly, this is a real life-based program, a life skills based. So what are we talking about these days in adult education? We're talking about career readiness. Career readiness. Locating information is a program that is about reading things that aren't necessarily words, but symbols and charts and graphs and menus and bus schedules and all kinds of things that one must need to know how to read. A student must need to know to function well in a job. So in this course, you will learn the basics needed to learn and read and understand what you read. Being able to read and understand information on the job is important. The lessons in the course will help you become a stronger reader and a stronger and better prepared person considering a career or college readiness. It really works both ways. The highest level of these reading programs is quite sufficient to prepare someone for a college entrance exam, as well as to score high on the WorkKeys exam. So most testing centers offer the WorkKeys exam for free in New Mexico, and also the certificate is free to the students. So I encourage you to talk to your testing center or your program directors and see if you can use this program.
The next topic that we're gonna cover in this presentation is about open resources. So with the help of other teachers, students, myself and Dawn, the thing that we've been getting together is that I could give feedback as a student, and Dawn could give me the feedback as a teacher. So we've been researching new resources to share with the community in New Mexico. So these are the categories that we got. So how to access to these resources is by our website. So if we go to our website, I will show you right here. If you click free web resources, and then under the tab, under the title English language resources, you will find with a little description and hyperlink in every name. So for example, I will click on this one, English Listening Lesson Library Online. You will open a new tab where you have a resource. When we say open resource, means that it's going to be for free, means that you can access. And some of them, I would say a few, require some registration, but the majority is just open and you can check and navigate without any registration. So in this case, this website I thought was great because it gives you different levels. So you can use in a beginner level to an advanced. And you see you have all these levels till advanced, and discussed and reading and videos, and you have lessons. So these are good tools that you can implement and revamp your lesson plan and make your class interesting and engage using technology. So I will recommend, if you go back to the page, you can see all the different resources that we have. Of course, we're always looking for new resources, and we try to update this website often. So we will be glad to hear from you. If you have any comment how we can deliver this information better, or if you're going to add any of your favorite websites and resources, we'll be glad to add them. next, what we're gonna talk about is about ESL and learning applications.
There are two things that we know about our students. One is factual and the other is anecdotal. Our experience certainly in southern New Mexico and many parts of New Mexico, our students don't have the resources to always have a good internet connection. They don't always have the resources to have a computer. They don't have the resources to do what they want. We know that as a fact. What we hope we know also is that our students will use their smartphones, which many of them do have, and many of them keep up, and many of them have internet access on their phones. We believe, because students have told us, anecdotally, we have this evidence. Students are given the opportunity to work on their phones, they will. So this is what I want to talk to you about. The program I just talked to you about earlier, CareerReady 101, is not an app exactly. There is no app for the program yet, but it does work well on any browser. Well, the two browsers that I looked at, Safari and Google Chrome, on my iPhone at least, I can tell you that they work fine on those two. And I also want to mention that, with all technology, there is no shortage of resources out there. There is no shortage of applications. There's no shortage of resources, websites, etc. What we did is we looked at a whole bunch of apps, a whole bunch of things that work specifically on a phone. And the ones that we're talking about today are primarily free, require no registration or very little registration. They're easy to use. They do not take up a lot of space to download. You do have to download an app on some of these. My experience was less than 40 megabytes of space they're going to take up on your phone. So I know that's a concern for some people. Sites have some advertising, and some are available only on Apple or on Android. Or we tried to make sure that they're available on both and any device, but not all of them are. So with that, I wanted to show you the first thing that is not really a program per se, but those of you who are using Google Classroom know that that is a mobile-friendly program, a mobile-friendly platform. I encourage you to, this thing works great. There is a Google app, a Google Classroom app, excuse me, and it's easy to download. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's free, and this is really a good program for you to communicate with your students and combine exactly what you're doing in the classroom, because you're creating the exercises that go into the classes Google Classroom. So there, you're gonna assign those programs that dovetail perfectly with what you're doing in the classroom. So for that reason alone, it works excellent. And that's another key point. Just pointing out a website or pointing out an app to our students typically is not enough. We know that our students need to be guided. We know that we need to model for them how to get into this program, how to use it effectively. So in Google Classroom, you just assign the things that you've created for that class. That's pretty easy. In the other programs, it takes a little more time to look at the program ahead of time, decide this Unit 2, Video 3 corresponds with your study of the present progressive or whatever you might be studying in your class that day. I really encourage you we really need to do that with our students if we expect them to use it, is to give them some specific skills in that area. This app that I like a whole lot is really simple, and this is called BrainPOP. The ESL BrainPOP is what you look for in your online your app store, and it is good and fun, even for beginners. It features Moby the robot. There are that you can pay for if you want to, but the free parts of this program are six different lessons, 3 levels. and levels meaning beginning, intermediate, or high intermediate, something like that. And there are 8 different ways to study, and I'm going to show you that. One thing that you can do is you can look at the grammar tenses included in the lessons, and then if you're working on those, that's an easy way for you to assign them something you're doing in the class. Let's just take a look at that, what that thing looks like. When the student logs in, when you log in a lesson, and you see there are 6 different parts to this is level 1, and we can go back and look at the first screen that comes up when you get into it after you download the app. Placement test, and there's level 1, level 2, and level 3, and then things you can do, more information about the program, etc. Just click on level 1. Here's 6 units, and each features a cartoon video here, and 6 different ways to study. The flashwords thing. Hear it, say it. Be quiet, I'm talking.
Hear it, say it.
Oh, okay, you can talk. Hear it and say it allows you to record your voice, actually. Students can record their voice. It's a cool thing. Lots of ESL programs have it, but students can use this here as a way to help their pronunciation. The Play It is a game, and there's another game that's kind of like, there's another game that's kind of like the old Tetris game, where you have the words that fit with the picture or something like that. So there's all these ways to focus on the content that you're working on. So it's really cool. It's a good program. Let's go back to where we were. And where are we? Oh, of course I do.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
So the next 2 apps that we're gonna talk, I mean, we have many apps, but the thing is, these are a lot of these apps come from recommendation from students, teachers, and we have really good experience with these 2 apps. And I wanted to talk about listening, because listening has been one of the big issues personally for me. I was obsessed, and I'm still, with accents and videos and understanding what people is saying, because even though in the United States you speak English, there's so many different places that have different accents. So I was always trying to catch what people is talking in the news, or they are talking on the street. So I thought these 2 apps could be really helpful for students that are like me, looking for practice on their phones. So the first one is VoiceTube. I thought this app was amazing, was fun, and the best part is for free. It also works for Apple devices and Android. As you know, our student population generally in New Mexico, the majority has Android phones, which is a challenge for some of the students that they want to be exposed to technology. However, this application made their life easier. So like I said, I want to go back to talk about VoiceTube. It has 3 levels. It has different channels. That means that you can choose different topics where you can study, and you can control accents, subtitles, and also, when I said subtitles, means that you can put the subtitles of the video in English. They also have some Japanese and other languages, but if you can put it in English, and because you're practicing English, it's great. Also, you have the speed control. That means that you could make a little slower the video. And I want to show you a little bit how this look on the link. So if you click voicetube.com, you're going to have a video. I'm not going to show it now, but I will, if you want to learn more about how to use it. If you're like me and you want to go right away and learn and make mistakes and play around, just go take the tour. So here you will see all the channels, and you have TED Talks, you have preparation for TOEIC, then you have English learning tips, business, and everyday English. Because also another thing that we wanted to say, we are so grateful for all the answers that we got from our survey. We have 27 answers, and the majority of the teachers said that they want to learn, they want to explain, and they want to have tools to teach life skills to the students. And this is one of the, I thought VoiceTube could give you the part of that tool, because if you go back to channels, you can see a lot of topics that we care. TED Talks, they talk about topics that we actually want to learn, is current things, issues. And what is good about, you have art, astronomy, design, economy, education, and so many topics. What also is good about it, if you see, they give you the level. They have some of them have a quiz after, so that will be a good activity for the students that really want to improve by giving a quiz. Also, what I also like a lot about this app is that it gives you the three levels from basic to advanced, and then you can, and you see that, well, those scores are for people or for students that are really getting ready for test, for actually test for to go to college. But it's a good guidance. And then the listening quiz would be the last one that I want to show you. Let me see. All the videos that have a quiz. And the US, it means that it has the subtitles available in English, American English. So VoiceTube, I'm gonna go back to the, I'm gonna go back to the slide. So I would recommend for you to check, because the thing is that you can have all your students independently of the levels playing around with an app, or even though from the computer. This gives you a little bit of flexibility in terms of when to use it and how students can take work at home. The second app that I want to show you is the British Council Learning English. I know it's a really popular app, but what I like about it is a little more complicated and simple, in a way that the English is advanced. That means what the English is going to be for students that are in an intermediate, high level to an advanced, but the application is really simple to use. It offers podcasts about different situations. It's business or daily. And also what is good is they have really long text and conversations. So I would recommend that you, it's going to take a little long, but what is good about it is that you can actually control of the podcast and go follow it. You can follow the text and the recording at the same time. And a lot of them have exercise quiz questions, so the students can practice the listening. So this is how it looks. If you go into the Learn English BritishCouncil.org, you will find an explanation of the app, all the features that it has, and for example, it shows you the series of 10 episodes, 20 episodes. So you could check. You have to download, when you have the app, you have to download the podcast in order to listen. But these are some comments of people that has been using it. And like I said before, they are a little long, but they are fun to listen. And actually, the accent is not that pronounced. It's a pretty simple English to understand. So I would love for you to try it out, and it's completely free. So that's really appealing for teachers. And again, also works for Apple devices and for Android, and as a website, and for mobile devices, at tablets or any other. So the last topic that we want to talk about is about citizenship materials. I would like to share a little experience with you. I just took my citizenship test on December. These are the tools that I used, and I think it could be great for teachers that are actually have, now I know how the times are now. A lot of teachers are doing classes for citizenship, and students want to. So these come from really close experience, because these are the 4 tools that I use for my preparation, and I wanted to share that with you. I actually passed my test, and I did really well. The best part was that it was fun to study. That makes my life so much easier. So, and I will start with the first link. This is the USCIS, the government. Of course, you know this link, but in case you don't know, what I like about this is that it gives you, so you can tell your students to print materials for your students, to let them know what's going on, what are the forms, and study for the test. They give you some questions. But what is good about is about the teacher side. And what I found is you could find lesson plans and activities for your classroom. They come for beginner and intermediate level. What is great is that also if you have a classroom where you need to teach civic and government topics, you could use these materials. You can print them out, and then they have a handout and an answer key. So for example, also if you are HSC teacher and you need to use, and you have a combined class ESL level 1 teachers, and you're talking about social studies and government, this will be great material for your classroom. So I would love for you to check them out. Like I said, is beginning level and intermediate. Other tools that I use is the Citizenship Study Guide. This website is really fun to use. Simple. You have a multiple choice, quiz, flashcards, writing practice. That is really fun because, as you know, the test has a part that you have to write and you have to speak in English. So, for example, you have the four levels, and what they're asking you.
Can we come for Thanksgiving?
So the student have to write what he hears. For example, can you come for what? Yeah, maybe didn't understand. So you can check the sentence, and it gives you the answer. So that's great for the student. I know a lot of them, I talk to them on a daily basis, and they're afraid of this part. To be honest, it's really simple. If you feel if you practice and the questions are really simple, you tell them that they have to smile and then practice. It's the only key. People actually is really nice. I was really lucky that I have a really nice person that worked with me that day. But I just want to tell you to tell your students that they need to be afraid. They just need to study. And the other thing, I know there is a part that you can take the test in Spanish. I'm not sure. I don't have any on that. I don't know how it is and how possible it is. But in case you want to encourage your students to start practicing and they speak Spanish, you can change this website to Spanish, and now will be everything in that language. I thought that will be a good option for students that are really starting with English and they want to learn and they are afraid. This is a good studies about social studies, about English, and these questions. And to part, these are the two apps that I found online and on my phone, and these two are for Android and for Apple devices, and they were great. They were simple to use. They didn't crash. They give you feedback, and then you practice because honestly we are so busy that sometimes we have a little break, and the only way that we can study is using our phone. So you can just type these names on your Google on your App Store and find these, and I have really good experience using both, and I will be happy to share more. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. So the next one, and it's almost one of the last slides we have, we thought that would be great to give you a little plan of how to use these tools in your classroom. These are how we've been using them, and we create this little table.
What do we call this? A rubric?
A rubric or
that.
table.
This was Monse came up with this idea a bit ago, and we put together a sample here. What we plan to do is put this on our website in the future as a guide. You have a lesson. You want to expand it. You want some additional resources for it, and or you want something that that's mobile friendly. Students can work on in their phone. Here's the subject or the situation you have. That look across when to use it, and as more specifically, and the tool that can maybe fit those things. So here, the first example is a citizenship, right?
Citizenship, but also, like I said when I was talking about it, if you infuse a class, I know a lot of the programs are doing combined class ESL Advanced with level 1 students, and they are doing HSC preparation ESL. I thought this material will be great for your class, the one that I show you, the lesson plan. So if your class is looking for print materials with guidance and results and exercises, and your class, when to use it, if your class is covering citizenship, government, HSC preparation, the best tool for that will be check the lesson plans. And for example, the one that I used was Equality and Freedom beginning level. So that for me worked really well. And then if you want to talk about the Constitution again, or the Bill of Rights, quality materials, and also it tells you there the questions that are covered from the citizenship test. Second one, if you are in a program that has a low budget, and your students want to learn computer skills, and you have the option of have a small lab, you can use ESL Learns, because like I showed you in the beginning, teachers can have their online classroom, and then they can track progress, and you can do it during the class, or if the student need to make up hours after all, you can also see how long did it take to the student to finish that day. So I would recommend ESL Learn.
The great thing about CareerReady 101 as a supplement to your classroom instruction is that you can track that time. You can set it up for in a hybrid situation or something as specific assignments that you can track to see if they did that and actually count hours for those students. And that's a great thing about that compared to other applications that are online for to use that the students might use on their phones. But CareerReady is a good one for that. BrainPOP is just a fun program, and there's enough work on there. It's not a huge program, but there's enough work on there to give students stuff to do that again can be in conjunction with your classrooms, your classroom topics.
So this is the end of our presentation. We want to have some time for questions if you have, but if no, all these materials are gonna be on our website.
There are some questions, you guys, just so you know.
We have some questions?
You have some comments I want to share, because that's always nice to hear when you work so hard to present.
Okay.
You had a lot of talk with two of the participants excited about, was it BrainPOP?
BrainPOP, yeah.
You might have some
ESL
people.
BrainPOP.
ESL.
There's two different programs. The ESL BrainPOP focuses much more on those things, like it's broken down into grammar tenses, or some lessons are grammar tenses, or some other lessons are content, in the city or at the library or whatever, like that.
Well, great. Well, that got some people chatting, so that was exciting. And then Barb was also excited about VoiceTube, noticing that she's used something familiar, but it looks good for high levels as well.
It is, yeah, for high levels or basic, it's engaging, and I thought it was really fun to use. I spent like 2 hours just playing around. So I think your students will not get bored with you playing around. It's fun. That's great. Thanks.
And then we had a question, can we share this information with our instructors?
Of course.
The
webinar? The webinar?
Of course. Absolutely.
That will be fantastic.
I believe that's what you meant by your question. As a director, can you share this? This link, as both of the presenters have shared, is going to be available as soon as I stop broadcasting. It's going to go straight to the website as an archived video, so you can direct them to this at any time. And if that's not what you meant, Barb, please post in the comment how I should frame this question for you. And then there was another question. I recently have had ESL level 2 students placed into my night classes. They said it's too advanced, but their scores reflect what they should attend my classes, that they should attend my classes. How do I make them feel more confident about their ESL skills?
That's a great question. I think it's a challenge for every program. I'm going to answer from the part of the student, and I will love that maybe Dawn will say as a teacher. In our program, in the program that I work, I'm doing a lot of advising one-on-one, and I have this conversation with students. And the best way to encourage them is telling them that it's so important for them to learn, and you can give them options. If you give them options to study, like apps and materials, they will choose what they want to do. I would recommend as a teacher, you gotta keep talking and having this nice conversation with them and be aware that they will drop anytime, because that's the problem. It's really sensitive, time sensitive in a way that they will like to drop. But if you talk to them and show them that there is not just one way, you can use, like again, mobile devices, you can use a computer. For example, just tell them if you use User Learn, it could be basic at first, but it's just to check the stat. Tell them how easy it will be for them to do this, so they will feel that they know something. So I would go a level down with them to make them feel strong, and then I will give them slowly advanced material. But when you feel that you accomplished something, it will change their mood and they will feel more confident.
Absolutely, Monse, absolutely. Students need to feel and feel successful in class. They must have success in class to feel good about how they're progressing. Students always need to know, always want to know more about, am I doing okay in class? You know, teacher, how am I doing, etc. So make sure that they know by giving them something you're pretty sure they can do, and then of course, you know, praising them lavishly for it. Multi-level teaching methods, of course, are valuable in a class that maybe you shouldn't. It shouldn't really be a multi-level class, but maybe it kind of is. An excellent thing to do with that is to put some sentences on the board that are incorrect, and allow the students to correct them at their level of understanding. There's really 4 things that they need to know. Can the student tell if the student if the sentence is correct or not? That's fantastic. If they can do that, then can they find out what the problem is with the sentence? Then can they then fix the problem in the sentence? And lastly, can they say why they're doing that? So the advanced level students should be able to do all of those things, or the higher level students might be able to do those things, and the beginning level students should be able to do the initial thing, that is this sentence right or wrong, yes or no? And everyone can have success in a multi-level method such as that. And there are others that can be used, but you may want to pair up the lower level students with the upper level students, that kind of thing. But primarily, like Monse said, students need to feel like they're having some success. And there's so much that the upper level students can hear again and again and again, and it's still good for them. So I wouldn't be shy about making sure that your lower level students are part of the party, so to speak.
Yeah, and to end it up also, I would recommend for you to show different tools. Oh, look this app, and then show them new ways that they can practice and learn, and encourage them to do it at home or whenever they can. So, and if you have any other question like that, please feel free to email us, and we will be happy to talk in depth about it. Questions?
We do. And Bonnie, I'm sorry that you're experiencing an echo. Hopefully that's not for everybody. Barb's not having that problem. So I'm sorry that you're having that problem. You can definitely watch this again when it goes and gets posted to YouTube after we end the live presentation, and perhaps that will remedy the situation. So to clarify what Barb was asking, you guys, when you were talking about one of your applications, you talked about a rubric that was within the site, the rubric that they provided. It said, if this, then this. That's what she was asking, if it could be shared with instructors.
Oh, totally. Totally. We just made, those are examples, and our idea for in the future for the New Mexico Delt ESL part is that we want to do a research on apps. We're going to create rubrics like that, because these rubrics that we want to share are based on our experience as teachers, and then get feedback from students, because sometimes, you have this great plan and you work a lot to get these awesome materials, and sometimes the students don't like it, doesn't work, and you start crying. So actually we're going to try to share things that work and we've been using, so we can actually create this networking with other teachers and create this connection that we can support each other. So of course, no problem. More
Wonderful.
questions?
No, I think that was all for now. I can still keep the chat going if people have things after I stop the live broadcast. Thank you both for presenting. I just want to that we do have a couple more presentations for our virtual conference today up until 4 p.m. So please look at what's offered in session A and B and see if there's another one that interests you. At the end of the day at 4 o'clock, we ask that all people who have participated will fill out the evaluation just to give us some feedback on how this first virtual conference went for you. So thank you so much. And
thank you, Faith. I want to say thank you to Faith because she's been
nicely done.
Yeah, she's great at this,
Good
moderating, helping, and thank you for attending. And these are on the screen. You will see our email addresses and the Facebook. Please follow us on Facebook, put us like, put your comments, share what you want to learn and what you know, so we can keep growing. And have a wonderful day. Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.